Okay, let's be real. Right off the bat. How many of you have already used ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or some other AI tool to help with an assignment this past year? Most of you, probably. And some of you probably feel weird about it. Maybe like you're getting away with something. Or maybe you're not learning what you're supposed to be learning. Here's what's strange. At the same time that this is going on, you've probably heard that employers expect you to use these tools. That if you can't work with AI, you'll be at a disadvantage in the workplace. So which is it? Is using AI cheating? Or is not using it falling behind? The answer is both. And neither. And that's the problem we need to untangle. Because right now, you're stuck in this bizarre in-between space where the rules aren't clear and everyone's making it up as they go, including your professors, by the way. So let me show you what I think is actually happening here. Here's what's changed over the past several years. Before, if you needed to write a report, you had to write it. Every word. If you needed to analyze data, you had to analyze it. All of it. The work was the work. Now, AI can draft that report in 30 seconds. It can analyze your data and give you charts in 2 minutes. So what's left for you to do? Well, everything that actually matters. AI might give you a draft. You still have to know if it's any good, if it actually answers the question, if it makes sense for your audience, if it's even accurate, because AI makes up stuff constantly. AI can crunch your data, but you still have to know what questions to ask in the first place, what the numbers actually mean, whether the analysis is misleading, what to do with the answer. The work isn't gone, but it's different now. Think about what happens when you text someone. Your phone suggests the next word. Sometimes you use it. Sometimes you ignore it because it's wrong or sounds weird or doesn't match up what you're trying to say. You're still communicating. The phone just speeds up the typing part. AI is a lot like that, except for bigger tasks. It speeds up the generation part. You're still responsible for the thinking part. And that's actually harder than it sounds. Because now you need to know what good looks like before you even start. You can't just follow the process anymore and hope you end up with something decent. So let's be specific about what kinds of things AI is actually good at. The first is speed. If you need 10 versions of something, AI can give you 10 versions of something almost immediately. It doesn't get tired. It can process way more information than you can. And it's weirdly good at structure, like formatting things, organizing information, following templates. But AI is not so effective at judgment. Here's a real example from a previous semester. A student was working on a project about workplace safety. She asked AI to generate some content about preventing injuries. The AI gave her a perfectly formatted list of safety tips. The grammar was fine. The structure was fine. Except one of the tips was completely wrong. The kind of wrong that could actually get someone hurt. The AI had combined information from 2 different industries and created something that sounded plausible but was dangerous. The student caught it because she knew enough about the subject to spot the problem. But if you don't know what you're looking at, AI can sound confident enough that you might just trust it. And that's the issue. AI doesn't know what it doesn't know. It very rarely tells you, "I'm not so sure about this part." It just generates text that sounds right. You have to be the one who actually knows if it's right. The same thing goes with context. The AI doesn't know that your professor hates certain phrases, or that your client is going through a restructuring and is sensitive about job security, or that your audience is going to find a particular example offensive. You know that stuff. AI doesn't. So here's the actual division of labor. AI is fast and confident. You're the one who has to be right. And frankly, that's more pressure, not less. Because now you can't blame the process. You can't say, "I followed all the steps." You have to make judgment calls the whole way through. So if you want to use AI without either feeling like you're cheating or producing garbage, here's the structure that actually works. Phase 1. You do the thinking first. Figure out what you're trying to accomplish, who you're talking to, what success looks like, what constraints you're dealing with. Then, you figure out how to explain that to the AI clearly enough that it has a chance of giving you something useful. This is harder than it sounds. Most people skip this part and just type, "Write me something about X," and then wonder why the output is generic and useless. Phase 2. AI generates stuff. Drafts, variations, options. This is the fast part. This is where AI actually saves you time. Your job here is to direct it. Like, "No, more like this," or "Try a different angle," or "Make it less formal." Things like that to guide the AI in the right direction, so it can speed up the middle part of projects. Phase 3. You become the editor and the fact checker. You verify everything. You check if it makes sense. You look for bias or logical problems or places where it sounds off. You make it actually good instead of just okay. If you skip phase 1, you'll get generic junk from AI. If you skip phase 3, you might be turning in something that's wrong, possibly dangerous, or just doesn't actually answer what you were supposed to answer. All of those are problems. So when people ask, is using AI cheating? It depends completely on whether you're doing phase 1 and phase 3. If you're just copying whatever AI gives you, yeah, that's probably cheating. If you're using AI to speed up the generation part while you focus on strategy and quality control, that's a professional skill. Look, I get that this is confusing. The rules are changing while you're trying to figure out how to play the game. But here's what I can tell you. The students that I see struggling aren't the ones using AI. And they're not the ones refusing to use AI either. They're the ones who haven't figured out yet what their job actually is when AI is doing some, but not all, of the work? And the answer is, your job is strategy and judgment. Figuring out what needs to happen, making sure it's good, deciding if it's right. AI's job is speed and generation, producing options, handling repetitive parts, giving you raw material to work with. If you can get clear on this division of labor, you'll stop feeling weird about using these tools, and you'll get better at using them effectively. So, at the beginning of this process, your task is to experiment. Pick some AI tools, use them for something real, pay attention to where they help and where they fail. Try to break them. Figure out what makes them produce garbage. Because the only way you'll get comfortable with these tools is by seeing what they can and can't do. Then, you'll start to figure out what you're supposed to be doing while they're doing their thing. That's what we're building here.